Hey, how you doing, everyone? Welcome back. Well, today what we're going to talk about is double standards, because we both know they exist. We all know they exist, I should say. Particularly as it pertains to men and women. You know, guy goes out there and he's with, all the women, and he's some kind of a big stud. A woman goes out there and she's with, all the men, and, well, there's some unkind things that are said about her. When, you know what, the standard ought to be the same either way. Either we look at both of them in a negative light, or we don't care about either one. And personally, I don't care about either one. I think that, it's a bad idea to sleep around, but, Let's also take a look at this in terms of how it pertains to presidential politics, particularly this year. As you know, over here, in this corner, Donald Trump, notorious philanderer, who has cheated on every wife that he's ever had, has 5 kids from 3 different women, married for the 3rd time. And quite frankly, other than cheating on his wives, none of that bothers me. Nor should it, really. Shouldn't bother anyone. In this corner, we have Kamala Harris. No kids of her own. Married for the first time. She's been married, I want to say, about 10 years or so. She does have 2 stepkids. No evidence of adultery on her part that I've seen. And again, that would be the only thing that I've brought up so far that would make me look at her negatively among the things that I just mentioned. So, Donald Trump has 5 kids from 3 women. Alright? Nobody bats an eye at that. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. What if Kamala Harris has 5 kids from 3 men? Again, personally, I don't care. I don't have a double standard like that. A lot of people do, though. Why? Why is that? What, boys will be boys? Why do we have that attitude? Boys will be boys, but we don't have, girls will be girls. So, the fact that Donald Trump has 5 kids, big deal. A lot of people have 5 kids. The fact that he's married for the 3rd time, big deal. A lot of people have been married 3 times or more. But yet, Kamala Harris is frowned upon for not having kids of her own, for one, and for 2, she would be frowned upon if she did have 5 kids from 3 men. And it's not only sexism, but we're gonna focus just on the sexism angle today, because doesn't it make us hypocrites, guys? For us to be able to go around and, be with whoever we want, but then we expect women to be absolutely pure. Hypocrisy, isn't it? Now, me personally, what bothers me most about, this entire topic of discussion is the fact that Donald Trump has cheated on all of his wives. That alone, to me, is enough reason to not vote for him. Actually, that's That was enough reason for me when I cast my very first vote in 1996 for president. When I voted for Bob Dole, Clinton's adultery was enough. His adultery was enough for me not to vote for him. Donald Trump's adultery is enough for me not to vote for him. Why is that? Simple. If you take a vow to remain loyal and faithful to one person, and I'm saying this as, somebody who is currently married, if you can't be faithful to that one person, how should anybody be able to trust you to be faithful to an entire country? I don't trust adulterers. I don't. And I will never knowingly vote for an adulterer. If I vote for someone who has committed adultery, I don't know about it, and I find out later, that person's not getting my vote again because I don't trust them. But again, there's a double standard there. It's all right for men to do it, but a woman does it. And, she gets called all kinds of nasty names, doesn't she? What if I told you it's not okay for anybody? It's not okay for anybody. If I'm fairly confident that if either my wife or I found out that the other one was not faithful, that would pretty much do it. Game over. And as somebody who's not to be trusted. Now, somebody who has multiple kids from multiple marriages, not necessarily a bad thing. It's not ideal, of course. A perfect situation would be mom, dad, married, kids, right? That's perfect. We don't live in a perfect world, though, do we? Marriages end for whatever reason. I've been married before. My wife has been married before. And for various reasons, neither of those worked out. So, I'm not going to get into all of that. First of all, it's not my place to get into the reason that hers didn't. And second of all, the reason mine didn't is irrelevant. And, it would involve me saying some unkind things about a particular person that does nobody any good. And I'm not going to trash somebody just because I have a platform to do it. So she has no kids. Well, she has 2 stepkids that call her Mama, which that's kind of funny. But yeah, she has no kids of her own. He has 5. His 5 are from 3 different women. Put the shoe on the other foot. He has no kids. Okay, well, whatever reason. That happens, we have several political leaders who don't have kids, including his own party, and including both senators from the state of South Carolina, for example. And I don't care. I have other reasons why I don't like those guys, but I don't care about that. But let's make her the one with 5 kids, 3 men. It's not necessarily a left-right partisan thing. It's a male-female sexist thing. And whether it's intentional or not, whether you deliberately see yourself as being sexist or misogynist for taking that kind of a view, It may not be intentional. It could just be, you know what, that's just kind of the way we were brought up. Well, just because we were brought up thinking one thing, does that mean we should continue thinking that? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's good to change your way of thinking. So don't vote on your candidates based on how many times they've been married or how many kids they have, but at the same time, if a woman were in Donald Trump's situation where he is on his third marriage and has 5 kids, don't hold that against her. Just like you shouldn't hold it against him that he has 5 kids from 3 different women. And like I said, there's a lot of other reasons why I won't vote for him. But that's not one of them. And if I wasn't going to vote for Kamala Harris, and she had 5 kids from 3 different men, that wouldn't be one of the factors in my vote. Don't let things like that influence your vote. Let it be something real. We'll catch you next time.